Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all hit the like, comment, and subscribe button for me, please, and hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it, honey, because the mess was messing all up and through this episode. Do y'all hear me? So, child, let's go. So, they got the dramatic music playing and whatnot as Kiki walks up in her red boots and her Coogi sweater. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, child. So, Tisha's like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the situation too, Kimmy. Well, Tisha, honey, she's a part of the situation. So in essence, you talking about her child. But who cares? Because Kiki was being messy. So let's continue to get into it. So Kiki is like, but you don't want me talking about you, right? You don't see how that's hypocritical? Well, Kimmy brought the mess to her. So she called her to tell her how the mess went that she told it over to her, honey. Because if you told me a message and some pop off, I'm going to call you and tell you how it went down with the mess that you told it to me. And that's just me. Okay, and can't nobody get on here and say, well, I wouldn't have called Kimmy. Yes, you would have. Okay, because if I came to you and I said, hey, subscriber 24567, you know, so-and-so on the other channel was talking about you. Oh, really? And then you sit down with the person from the other channel and then all hell break loose. And then you call me and you like, girl, remember the tea you gave me over here about this person talking about me on their channel? Yeah, so this is how it went. It's mess all up and through, honey. The whole thing is messy. So Kiki said Tisha always runs and nothing gets resolved. And Tisha's like, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. And then she proceeds to repeat, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Oh, Tisha crazy. So Kiki was like, listen, I just want you to know that those things affected me emotionally. So Tisha's like, well, I apologize for the 100th time for talking about your personal business to Mel. I apologize, honey. This is my sorry for 2004. Child, shout out to Ruben Studdard, honey. Ooh, child, please accept the apology, girl. That was 19 years ago. But wait 1 second. Y'all just wait 1 second. Kimmy brought the mess back, right? Tisha and Kiki meet up. Kiki does not apologize for engaging, but instead, Tisha apologizes for something she already apologized for 4 years ago. So what now? Okay, see, Kiki is really playing in my face. Okay, because if we've already hashed this out and that was 4 or 5 years ago, at this point, you just want to be seen on TV in your red boots. Okay, and you're not fooling me. Because don't come in my face talking about something that happened 19 years ago and now you running it back one time for the one time because you got caught up in some foolishness and some mess because you were being used as a pawn. Girl, don't do that. Honey, do not do that. So Tisha said, you know, we cried about it. We went out to eat. Like, I thought we were past that. She said, listen, I'm going to ask that you not sit and engage with people speaking negatively about me when you know that I'm not there to defend myself. It makes things worse between me and you. And you know what? I wonder if Kiki was still mad and just never said nothing and Mel knew about it and saw it as an opportunity to get Kiki to confirm the cheating mess that was going on with Marceau, allegedly. But even so, the girl was on there last season singing a different tune. So all of this just seems like she's trying to deflect from taking responsibility for being a messy Marvin, honey. And even if you was just sitting and answering questions that were asked of you as my family, don't answer a damn thing. If somebody asks you something about me and my marriage, you can politely decline to answer. You know what? I'm not getting in the middle of that, girl. I don't know nothing about their marriage. Child, that's them. That's all you have to say. But you didn't do that. So now you're trying to make it Tisha's fault. Girl, anyway. So Tisha is like, well, take some accountability. She said, yes, I did. But she was like, you know what? We're still holding on to things from the past. Tisha said, no, not we. Honey, you're doing that. It ain't we. She said, I have moved on. I have not sat down with anyone. I have not talked about you. Then she said, and you know what? I'm tired of talking about this. She said, look, we both can agree that if we weren't family, we wouldn't even be talking. Now Tisha said, what now? Child, not you gonna bring back what Kimmy said at the reunion. So now you wouldn't be friends with your own cousin if y'all weren't family. So basically nobody on this cast likes each other. Ooh, baby, it's getting messy. Baby, Huntsville streets are messy boots. Messy as them red boots that Kiki wearing. If that's the case then, Tisha, and I go back to this, why was she defending you last season? Okay, if you feel like the two of you wouldn't even be friends if you weren't related, then why was she defending you? And Kiki, if you were still upset, then what was that for? Was it for camera time? Why were you all in Kimmy's face like, you didn't defend Tisha when it came to Mel? But then the very next season, all of a sudden you mysteriously mad about some stuff that happened 5 years ago. And then you go to Mel's house. Girl, anyway, y'all ain't got time for this. This is some old crazy juvenile bullshit, okay? So Kiki thinks that Kimmy is still on the phone. She's like, see, you don't even see how I feel. Tisha was like, look, I forgot she was on there. But honey, Kimmy had already hung up, but not before she got the tea. Okay, I know that's right, Kimmy. All of this, and basically Kiki justified being messy by bringing up old stuff and never apologizing. Girl gone. In the next scene, for some reason, Marceau is in his office with a hard hat on and a suit. Listen, this is what I was thinking when I saw the gray suits having a conversation, because Martell showed up in his gray suit as well. But y'all know Martell gonna wear a gray suit, honey, to the gym. But what I was thinking is, now that the Holts have fallen, they're trying to usher in Marceau and Tisha, because all of a sudden they have presented this united front. Let's continue. Child, just food for thought. Y'all just think about it, okay? I think they're trying to be the next couple. So Martell comes in, still making his rounds on the Mel didn't bring the kids to the book signing tour. Martell, well, we got it. Please, sir, let it go, okay? Like, you knew she wasn't bringing those kids during her week. She don't like y'all. None of y'all. Honey, she don't like none of y'all. That's just the bottom line. So Marceau was like, well, it's their book. Like, were you embarrassed? He said, yeah, and I still am. He said, I gave her enough heads up. So Marceau asked what she said, and Martell said, I know she's going to say it was her week, and, I almost have to respect that. Well, that's the way the court set it up, unfortunately, Martell. And for a split second, I did feel bad for you. Like, man, if only the kids could come for just a minute. But you know what I'm starting to notice about this show? Not only is it getting on my nervous system, okay, but there is a repetitiveness that happens throughout every single season. This cast is like a dog with a bone. Once they get something, they talk about it for years to come. We are still fighting about Tisha and Mel's fight from season 1. When Mel had the short hair with the long bangs, we are still fighting for when Tisha was locked up in the house and she couldn't even see daylight. Okay, that's when Marceau wouldn't let her outside. Okay, now everybody like, I'm outside. Tisha is just now getting, now she was in quarantine before quarantine was quarantine. And we still fussing about that today's date. Martell, I'm just happy we ain't talking about that damn picture. Okay, do y'all hear me? Oh, child, I'm so happy they let Kodak rest for just a moment. But Martell, please let it go, honey. We talking about this book signing. Just let it go. Okay? Please let it go. Moving forward. So Martell is saying that he emails Mel to keep record of communication because she doesn't respond to the phone number that he has. So Marceau feels bad for Martell because if it was his kids, he would want them to be there. And he feels like both of them are using the kids as pawns. And the only person that is hurt in the process are the kids. And I have to agree with that. So then they started talking about his wine tasting in Atlanta. And he was like, yeah, boys trip to Atlanta. So Marcel's like, no, not like that, though. No clubs, no lounges. So Marceau was like, well, I can do a club or a lounge. I can do that. See, and that's why they stay on you about that cheating. Because you're trying to run up in a club. You do not need to be in the club. So Martell said, well, I'm single. Marceau said, oh, okay, well, I'm married. But you can still do you. Marceau, what you looking for in the club, huh? What you say now? Oh, nothing. He said, just because you're in the club don't mean nothing. Me and Tisha, we trust each other. Okay, Marceau, I hear you. Okay, but I see something different. When Tisha is asking questions, you don't answer. So she doesn't exactly trust you. But go on, set yourself off. In my book, it's insanity at this point to even address their marriage or the cheating, because the definition of insanity is doing something over and over and expecting a different result. We're not getting anything out of Tisha. She's complicit at this point. We're not getting anything out of Marceau because, honey, the NDAs have been signed allegedly and nobody's coming forth. So therefore, and thus and such, I ain't got nothing else to say about the Scotts. Moving forward. So Martell brings up buying back into Scolt and asks how Marceau feels about it. He was like, well, I just want to come back and help to grow the company. Martell, how you going to help grow the company? What do you have to offer besides your facial recognition and that blue check mark on Instagram? Like, what? You have to partner with someone in order to even work. So what are you talking about? See, this is just an easy solution to you not getting that builder's license. Martell, it is an open book test. I got on the Googler. Just get it, sir. Get the builder's license. You know what? I might start a hashtag builder's license. We are going to motivate Hotel Holt to get his builder's license. Martell, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I know you ain't watching my channel, but some of your castmates do, honey, and don't ask me how I know. But I'm going to say this to you. Just get your builder's license, because you have been going around since last season trying to find work. Like, I'm just going to need you to find something to do. If you are booked and busy with your photo shoots with your rose petals in the bathtub and you're signing books and taking pictures in front of Times Square, then why are you over here trying to get back with Sculpt? Boy. So Marceau is like, well, it's me and Tisha's company, so I have to talk to her. That's the oldest trick in the book. You know what? You say you need to ask someone else, because you know if that person's going to say no. And this way, you can blame it on them. My mama used to do that to us all the time when I was younger. I would ask her for something, and she would say, well, let me ask your father. Because she knew my daddy's answer was going to be no. So then she could run it back to me and be like, well, he said no. Child, I used to hate when she used to do that. Honey, Marceau know exactly what he is doing, and he going to let Tisha take the fall. Because since when does chauvinistic Marceau have to run things by Tisha? Since when does he feel the need to consult Tisha about anything? I mean, he should. Don't get me wrong. He should consult her, because that is his wife and she's part owner of Sculpt. But this is Marceau we're talking about. Come on, y'all. So Marceau said, I just feel like, we should do a test run. And because Destiny wants to build out her suites. So let's just see how that goes. So Martell is okay with that, because it'll introduce him to some commercial building, and it's an opportunity for him to learn something. And so they're just going to try to test the waters with that. Martell says, so you can't tell me, till you talk to Tisha? Even Martell is like, since when did this happen? And Marceau said, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Okay. But however, I need to protect my business, as you should. So then in the confessional, Marceau tells us that Sculpt wouldn't be possible without Martell. Well, then why you always trying to act like you don't know him like that? I've never been out to eat with Martell. I've never sat down and had a drink with Martell. I don't know Martell like that. Martell is the integral part of us having Sculpt. Without Martell, there would be no Sculpt. Marceau, which one is it? Child, y'all lie so much, don't nobody know what they talk. Everybody got a little line problem. So he said, but we did break up for a reason. So I just need to make sure it's right for them at this time. In the next scene, Kimmy and Maurice are at home, and he's doing some manual labor because she likes to see him with a tool belt on and whatnot, using hammers and all this other kind of stuff, because she said it turns her on, gets her wheels turning or whatever. So Kimmy is like, I like to see him work with his hands. She's like, I love it. It turns me on. He's like, well, I'm glad I could get you hot. She's like, super hot. Okay, cut. Carlos King, I'm speaking directly to you. Please, let's go on to something else, honey, because this is so cringe. I do not like to see Maurice and Kimmy getting ready to get their engines roaring. Honey, I don't want to see that. So then they sit down, and Kimmy starts telling Maurice about the call that she got from Tisha, and she tells him that she was at Black and things got heated between her and Kiki. So then she hears Kiki going off in the background about Tisha talking to Kimmy about the business and whatnot. But my question is this, Kimmy, at what point did you hang up? Like, what all did you hear, child? So Maurice was like, well, at some point, Kiki and Tisha gonna have to sit down with Miss Wanda, and that is not going to be good, honey. It's gonna be a fool, okay? So he said, so somehow you're going to be involved in it. She said, yeah, somehow I'm always involved in it, and it's unfortunate. Basically, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. You're the one who told Tisha, so, you in it. That's just the bottom line. And I know she was trying to tell Tisha before she heard it through the grapevine, because then that could have been an even bigger mess. Because last time that happened, it was a 3 and 4 season, which I went on the 4th season, but it just seems like it's been more. But now we're in a different season, and that stuff was still carrying on. So I understand why Kimmy ran and told that, because she was like, look, I do not want you hearing this from anybody else trying to implicate me in some mess. Let me tell you myself. So Maurice is like, well, they love to put Kimmy in the middle. That's what they're saying in the confessional. Maurice, she put herself there. Okay, she put herself in the middle. The moment she told Tisha, that's what was said at that party. She put herself in the middle of it, honey. So she's just gonna have to deal with it. In the next scene, Destiny stops by Maurice's office, and she said, after the divorce, her credit took a hit, so she's there so he can help her restore it and get it back on track. And I always get so confused with Maurice, because I know he was a credit specialist when we were introduced to him season 1, but then all of a sudden he got his law degree, so now he's a lawyer, but I don't know if he's practicing. So honey, it's the credit and the law of it all. But anywho, So she's trying to get it together so she can refinance her home because she has less than a year to do that. So it's completely in her name. She's like, yeah, I don't want to uproot my son because this is all he's ever known. My son does not even remember where he lived when he was your son's age. He's a baby. Just say, I want to keep my home. Okay. But the son, girl, he ain't gonna remember that. If it's something that you need to do that financially makes sense, it is okay. You do not have to keep up with the Joneses. Honey, get you and your baby a little apartment until you get on your feet. Girl, if I could tell y'all the story of how I had to rebuild, y'all would be like, girl, let me pass the collection plate. Because, baby, I had to rebuild. She said she moved there hoping to build an empire with her husband, but, that didn't work out. So then she's like, yeah, because I had to get on public assistance. He's like, you mean PPP? I was like, all right now, honey, that's why you've been missing from these episodes. I've been locked up. Girl, don't play. They coming after everybody with them PPPs, honey. She's like, no, public assistance. And, I was using my credit card to survive. Okay, Destiny, I am loving the transparency. Shout out to Tiffany. But what type is it? Like, was it one of those rental assistance programs? Was it the pandemic EBT? Honey, because I was hoping they'd give me one of those. Okay, child, I was lying and doing all kinds of stuff trying to get me a little coinage on the card. Okay. But what exactly was it? But whatever the case, okay, I know it ain't none of our business, but we just nosy like that. Whatever the case, it's heartbreaking to hear that she had to go through that and actually get public assistance. Because let me tell y'all something. I've had food stamps before, honey. I've had WIC. I've had these things. So I understand what that's like. I've been there and I had to rebuild. It's even tougher when there's a baby involved and you get a divorce because then you have to work out custody things. And now you have to take care of the baby all by your lonesome. And I hear a lot of people say, well, you should have chose your baby daddy better. It doesn't work like that. Some of us actually did get married first and things just didn't work out. Sometimes life is not what you think life is supposed to be. So I really hate when people say that kind of stuff. So Maurice wants to know how Madani is doing. And she said it's been open and closed because she can't be there because she's having to take care of the baby. And she had people on payroll, but she can't pay them because it's just too much. So he suggests making it a mixed use space. And what I suggest, even though y'all didn't ask me, is I suggest switching it to an online beauty supply where you would locally deliver. Rent yourself or lease yourself a van. And when people order something, you could deliver the product to them. That's what I think. Because the pancake, honey, because y'all know I'm not about to say that word over here on this channel. The pancake caused so many businesses to have to pivot. And since we're still going through it, honey, even though everybody done took their mask off and whatnot, some of them are still learning to do other things in their businesses to leverage the time that they were not making sales. Like, you have a presence on social media, leverage it. Like, do brand deals, offer ad placements. You have to get creative. It is so much money online. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I'm not really one of those people that want to give courses and tell you to buy my ebook and whatnot. But when I tell y'all, I be brainstorming up in here about how to get the coins, okay? Because they make them in your size when you got the coins. Shout out to Nene Leaks. Anyway, Destiny, you need to do something on social media and use your platform to make money. Also, e-commerce is where it's at. So Destiny said the sweets are going to do that for her. She's always wanted to do that, but every time she gets started, it's always something. So she's been putting it on hold, but now it's a good time. So she tells him that she's using her personal savings to keep the business afloat. So I'm assuming that you're using your personal savings to keep your business open, and the public assistance was for everything, living related. I'm just going to assume that. So Maurice in the confessional is like, it's really hard to sustain a business when you're using your personal savings. And it's not the smartest thing to do either, because once your savings are depleted, who's to say the business is going to succeed? But we're just going to speak over you, Destiny, that the business is going to be successful. And I really do feel for Destiny. But listen to me, Destiny. I'm speaking directly to you. If push comes to shove, remember the new wave is e-commerce. It is creating Black millionaires every day, B. Let me tell y'all something. When I was younger, I used to always say, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to buy you a house and I'm going to buy me a house. And my son always tells me the exact same thing. But when I was a young Black kid in the hood in the 80s and the 90s, I thought that was so far-fetched and unattainable. But I would still say it every single day. I'm going to be a millionaire. I am going to be a millionaire. And my mom used to always be like, yeah, you can do anything you put your mind to. You know how the mamas be doing and whatnot. But now it actually seems attainable because you can do it. They are showing it and proving it on social media every day. There's a new 20-something millionaire in 5.2 seconds. Somebody sold $1 million worth of product in 4 hours. It can be done. In Destiny, you can get through this. So then Maurice brings up her needing a village, and he was like, but I heard you got into it with Mel. Child, not Maurice being messy and trying to get the tea. So she begs to differ, child. She feels like Mel is into it with her. She said, I just don't understand where it's coming from because Mel just abruptly ghosted her. So she's telling him about the brunch, and Mel said that Tisha was her enemy. And Destiny feels like if that's the case, then don't promote us being friends. Like, why are you trying to pretend that you want us to be friends when you know that you really don't? She's like, then I became friends with her and now it's a problem. And he's like, well, does Tisha know that she's Mel's enemy? Destiny said, I don't think she does. She knows now because Destiny told her. So Maurice said, knowing what you know now, would you still want to be friends with Tisha? And Destiny said, actually, yes. But she also said that if she knew that Tisha was Mel's enemy like that, then she would not have been so open with, cultivating a relationship with Tisha because Mel was her friend first. She said, I went through something the other day and I didn't have my friend to call. So Maurice was like, who did you call? And she said, I called Tisha. And she helped me through it. So Maurice said the important thing is having people that support you. Child, this is a mess. So Destiny said in her confessional that she knows Tisha saying that Mel doesn't know how to be a good friend actually bothered Mel. She's like, I didn't want that to be true, but it's looking like it may be. She's like, I thought me and Mel were going to be lifelong friends. So Maurice said, at the end of the day, I'm just going to be praying for you. Child, pray for the whole Cashapp and lift me up as well. Moving forward. Over at Scout, Tisha and Marceau, they're getting some work done, having coffee like they like to do in every scene. And Tisha tells Marceau that she wants Miss Wanda to shadow him to see how to run a business. So Marceau was like, what? That's a tall order. Here you go, Tisha. Tall order? Yes, Tisha, which means he don't want to do it. It seemed too much, child. It has just seemed too much. Let me tell y'all something. Marceau and Miss Wanda together is a spinoff in the making, honey, as well as a disaster. Okay, don't get me wrong, honey. It's going to be a fool all the way up and through, but it is the spinoff that we didn't know we needed. I'm just telling y'all, honey. I'm just saying. Carlos, now, if I see that, I know you heard this review. So after not wanting to do it, he agreed because, he getting along with Tisha right now and whatnot. And they sit down and Marceau brings up Martell stopping by asking to buy back into Scout. And he's like, he seems to be back to the old Martell. Not the man you don't know. Martell is trying to get back on his feet. So he has come to cross the bridges, okay, that he almost burned again. Y'all's was partially burnt during the whole 20 women's. So let's see how Tisha feels about this. So he tells her, right? And he said, I told him that I would ask you. So Tisha said, y'all were good partners together. Martell is a good businessman, but that was at first. But I just don't know if I can trust Martell again. And shouldn't. She's like, even though he apologized and said that he was being persuaded, it's still in him to do those types of things. It absolutely is, Tisha. Now you're using your thinker, honey, because I would not trust him in the slightest. I definitely would not trust him in my business. When he thought he didn't need Marceau, he quickly threw him under the bus, and Tisha was collateral damage because it was all about her marriage and all about Marceau's cheating, and it was Team Holt. But now that he needs Marceau, now he wants to, come with his tail tucked between his legs, and he's like, I could really help you grow the business. It seems like it was doing all right without you. Child, I wouldn't give him a second opportunity to mess with me, honey, and my money. Sorry, but that's just me. It's a no for me. Moving forward. So Tisha says she can't put him in that position again. She just can't do it. So Marceau was like, well, yeah, I respect Tisha's opinion and, I don't want to jeopardize my family. Marceau tells her that he proposed that they work on the suites together. And she was like, well, if you think that's a good idea. And Tisha said, but it's a no at this time. Baby, Tisha said, I'll have my people call your people. In the next scene, Mel and Destiny meet up. Baby, Mel looking just like Miss Vanessa in this sweater and this wig combo. Do y'all hear me? Baby, from the gold necklace to the sweater to that wig cocked ever so, all I could see was Miss Vanessa. I said, baby, that's going to be exactly what Mel looking like when she get older. So they get right down to it, honey. So Mel was like, so what's going on? Destiny said, I don't know. You tell me. Mel said, well, you don't think everything is okay? Like, what's going on? Destiny said, no, something is definitely off because I've heard from mutual friends that you said something. She was like, who? She was like, the ones you talked to, I guess. So Mel thinks it's interesting Because she doesn't bring up Destiny to anybody. And if she does, she gives vague responses. Mel, that's a lie, honey. You just sat down with Kimmy and you brought up Destiny. Kimmy didn't say anything to you about Destiny and you brought her up and started talking about what you heard and what she said. Come on now. This is the thing before we even get into this, okay? Because I ain't in the mood to fight with y'all. I know how y'all like to tussle. The bottom line is this. I would respect what's happening more if they would just keep it all the way real. I do see both sides of the coin, and I am going to express that I see both sides. But I want Mel to keep it real and stop acting like she's perfect and she doesn't do anything to hurt her friends, or she's just, I never tell people not to work with other people. I don't like that, because that's a lie. Just keep it real. We know that you do those things, girl, please. So Destiny said, well, whatever it is, whatever it was that you're feeling, it was big enough for people not to want to do business with me. So then Destiny says in her confessional that one of Mel's friends was supposed to do a business deal with her, but then she called Destiny and abruptly said that she's going to have to halt things because she doesn't want to be in the middle of mess. Was it stormy? And the reason why I say that is because she had products that could go in Madani. I don't know, honey. I'm just thinking out loud. But I was wondering if it was her. So Mel said, I was asked what was going on because people see things on social media and, then she goes into her spiel. I don't know how things were misconstrued. It wasn't misconstrued, okay? She said her post wasn't a response to Destiny because she doesn't look at stories. Mel, let me stop you right here, okay? So y'all have a brunch about her talking to your enemy. Then you post a meme that says a friend to your enemy is a foe to you, and it's not about Destiny. Come on, Mel, you have got to do better than that, honey. You must really think I'm boo-boo the fool, honey. You ain't fooling me. She said she posted about her feelings at the time. Yes, and you were in your feelings because Destiny was talking to Tisha. It's a natural emotion. If you would just say, yeah, I said it because I felt like you were being a foe to me because you were a friend to my enemy. And anybody that's talking down to me, why are you sitting in their presence talking with them? Just say it. But all this, I would never say that, and I don't even look at the stories. Okay, child, just like you didn't remember that fellatio, but that's neither here nor there. She's like, I'm not affecting her business. I'm not going to take that. I'm just not going to take it. So Destiny said, Mel is smart. She knows how to word things, but how loyalty works is you not messing with somebody, then the other person doesn't mess with them as well. So I would call that a master manipulator. So Destiny said, okay, so whatever you said to her, it was enough for her to put a pause on business because she said we needed to talk because she didn't want to be in the middle of mess. She said, and I told her, I can't talk to you because you don't want to talk. So Mel said, well, you took the time to process things and, share what you wanted to share and not share what you didn't want to share. And it's okay when you do it, but it's a problem when I do it. So basically, we're back to Destiny not telling her about that divorce. And that is what Mel is still mad about. And side note, Mel, this black bob, honey, is Bobine. I love that black bob. Baby, that's everything. Just a side note. So anyway, she's still mad about that divorce. So Mel said the first time that I heard that I wasn't a good friend was at the reunion. So she tells Destiny that she took some time just like she did, but at the reunion, you said that you had not talked to me. And Destiny was like, yeah, because I had not talked to you. But that wasn't true. So Mel pulls out her phone with the text messages and she starts reading the text, baby. So Destiny rolls her eyes and then it's on. Here go, Mel. Don't be rude. Mel, she is not Melanie, she is not Mariah, and she is not Martell Jr. She is an adult. Mel needs to really learn how to speak to these grown people because the way she speaks to them is very mommy mode all the time. You got to step outside of that when you're speaking to an adult, girl. So Destiny said, well, my conversation said that we hadn't talked, so you can read all the text messages that you want. She was like, oh, well, I will read them. And she was like, well, it ain't gonna matter. Okay, listen. In this day and age, Destiny, a text is, how people communicate. All the time, you don't have time to talk on the phone. She got 4 whole kids. So I'm going to have to give her that. Like when people are busy, they don't have time to talk on the phone. To Mel's defense, on the reunion, I thought you meant 0 communication. Now, I don't know when the reunion was filmed. Honey, that's what we got to get down to the bottom of. I don't know when the reunion was filmed. So I don't know the time period after the text until the reunion is what Destiny could be referring to as well. I haven't spoken to Mel. So that could be, or maybe she meant I have not verbally spoken to Mel and we will be on the phone all times a day. Maybe that's what she meant, child. I don't know. So Mel said, we don't have to have this conversation then. We don't have to have it. She said, I allowed you to tell this falsehood and I could have said something. Okay, Mel. Now, before you go there, honey, you told a falsehood on that stage as well. I mean, if I did do that, I don't remember doing that. Okay, child. She said, I don't stop people from being friends. So Destiny said, well, you should have. If she was your enemy, then you should have said that. Mel said, well, you should have known our relationship. Destiny was like, I did not know that y'all had a bad relationship. I only know what me and you talked about. Now, I am assuming that she meant from last season, because everybody and their mama know Mel and Tisha got a problem. Honey, even my 6-year-old child, he don't even watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. Everybody know those two are frenemies. It's giving Nene and Kim Zolciak if I ever did see it. So then Mel said, well, anyone over there with my ops is not my village. Mel, how you talking about the ops and you not having a village when you said your kids don't even like Destiny? You said they said that Destiny was boring. So I know you're not trying to talk about her being your village. You don't want her to be your village. Girl, what are you talking about? Child, y'all saying any old thing. Moving forward. So she's like, yeah, we would be on the phone and you would be like, oh, your ex beeping in. And yeah, he already said y'all talk all day, every day. And so Destiny was like, what? We do not. Now, you know that's a lie. We do not. She was like, well, that's what he said. She was like, we do not talk every day. Destiny said, you know better than that. Mel said, well, Martell pulled up to your house before. And I don't understand why you would talk to him knowing all the things that he's done to me on social media. Destiny said, okay, well, then you should have told me that, Mel. Mel was like, I ain't got to tell you that. That's common damn sense. Destiny said, as far as girl code, this is what she said in her confessional. She was Team Mel, but she knew Martell first. That's like all of the friends that she knows through her ex. She would ask him to cut them off. Like, it doesn't work like that. And I just have to say this. It's tough after a divorce because now you have to decide who will keep the friends. As much as people say, well, you should be allowed to be friends with both. It's tough. It's a tough spot that Destiny is in. So it's kind of not fair, seeing as how she met Melody through Martell. And, I know she, under normal circumstances, people would be like, don't be talking to my ex. But they were friends before she was friends with Mel. Mel probably think Destiny running her business back to Hotel Hope. That's what it really is. But she should have more trust in her friendship to know that she's not running her business back. So Mel brings up what Tisha said at the reunion, and she felt like Destiny should have defended her. Well, why should she have defended you, Mel? Because when Tiffany did that to Destiny last season and ruined her birthday brunch, you didn't pipe up in her defense at all. So you're guilty of the same thing as Destiny is. You want something that you aren't giving. So then they started talking about Mel hearing the conversation she was having with Tisha, and Destiny said, so you were next to me the night before, right? And she said, yeah. She said, okay, so you didn't hear my aunt saying that I need to be careful with you and me defending you, but you heard the conversation that I was having with Tisha? And she said, yes, I did. Baby, aunt said, you better watch out. Baby, the aunt said, watch her. So, baby, they going back and forth and back about the brunch and whatnot. And Mel says Destiny apologized for talking about her. And Destiny said, no, I did not apologize. I apologized for Mel thinking I was talking about her. And then you did that little condescending Mel face. Y'all know how she like to do. And she was like, don't call me condescending. I am not condescending. Mel, I have to disagree. So Destiny said, well, you did it. Mel said, okay, so you're aggressive. I don't have time for this. Destiny said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Because, honey, Destiny trying not to snap. Okay, she's trying to keep herself together. Mel said, he's having mercy. Baby, this was so funny to me. I hollered at that when Mel said he's having mercy. Mel gets up, honey, because she has had enough. Nothing was resolved. And Destiny is like, okay, I'm going to pray for you. Mel is like, nah, baby, I don't want everybody praying for me. I don't need you to pray for me because whatever you pray for me, it's going to come back to you. And she was like, I ain't got time to be arguing with these people back and forth. I have coins to make, not friends to fake. Ooh, child, it's the Dr. Seuss of it all. Listen to me, y'all. The bottom line is this. Mel does not want anybody to be friends with anybody that she no longer associates with. When Tisha challenged her at that reunion, she decided that Tisha was forever exiled. So now Destiny should not be getting chummy with Tisha because Mel don't F with Tisha. Martell, we all know what's going on with Martell, child. She doesn't want her to associate with Martell either. Mel, you cannot dispose of everybody in your life that talks to someone that you don't like. Just because you and Tisha are on the outs, honey, because that's what y'all like to do every other season. And I mean, child, throw Hotel away, okay? But you can't put all that on Destiny. And you were not a very good friend to Destiny last season. Let's not forget. So I just think the two of them need to just separate, leave each other alone, because clearly the two of them are on two separate pages. They see things totally different. Mel says her point, Destiny is saying her point, and then there's the truth in between both of them in this bad wig that Mel is wearing. Child, and that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below respectfully and tell me, who do you think was right in this whole altercation as far as it's concerned with Mel and Destiny? As far as Tisha and Kiki and her red boots, who do you think is right? And then you have Kimmy just waiting for Maurice to hang up a TV. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about the episode. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.